Welcome to the Smart Couple Show, where we're going to rock it out every week at 10 a.m. Mountain Time here in beautiful Boulder, Colorado. Okay, what in the hell are we doing here? Well, as you know, if you're a podcast listener of the Smart Couple, the podcast is really about helping you have an awesome, deep, fulfilling relationship with one person. I'm in the long-term relationship game, and that's what I help people with. Now, when you start to figure out long-term relationship really well, the cool side benefit is all of your other relationships start to improve and deepen and enhance. It's pretty amazing, actually. And you just get more adept and skilled at dealing with people because people are really fucking hard to deal with. Have you noticed that? That people are challenging. And what makes it challenging is our own baggage from our past that we just project onto everybody. And when someone behaves outside of our values and the things we care about, we react and contract and play small, and we blame and we point the finger either at ourselves in self-blame or at you. It's, you're making me feel this way. Right? If you've ever said that or met people that say that, they're demonstrating how immature they are in their development. And it's okay. It's just, look around. Most people are children when it comes to relationship. And that's not like a blamey statement. That's just a fact. Okay. I was a child in my relationships for years until I was in so much pain that I decided to do something about it. Right. So it's essential we learn how to do this only if you want to have a fulfilling relationship over many, many years. And if you want deep friendships where you have a soft place to land, where you feel met and seen, and where you feel understood, and you can bring your pain, because life's hard. And if you don't have someone to bring your pain to and just vent about how insecure you feel and how shitty you feel right now, it's pretty lonely. That's a pretty lonely place to be. So we're teaching you how to have extraordinary and just simple, straightforward, fulfilling, no bullshit relationships where you get your needs met and you're there for other people and you learn how to love, because the deal is we don't know how to love. You know, you can claim you know how to love, but move in with me and just by living with me, I'll show you that you don't know how to love me. Because I'll trigger you and I'll annoy the shit out of you. So we got to be students here. And that's why I created the relationship school, so that we could admit that we have something to learn. And then that's like the first step. And then we can actually start to learn and not expect ourselves to be good at something we were never taught. Okay, so here at the Smart Couple podcast and the Smart Couple show, I aim to answer your heartfelt, painful, heart-wrenching, beautiful, inspiring, confusing questions. All right. And my goal is every week, this is an experiment really to see if this works for you, is every week I'm going to answer one question. So you can ask me anything, and you can send me questions ahead of time. You can write questions below. We're going to continue to stockpile your questions because right now I have quite a lot, dozens and dozens. I could sit here for 3 hours and just answer questions. And I love to do that, but I'm not sure you would sit there for 3 hours and listen to me answer questions. We all have a life, right? You're busy. So they're going to be short. This is going to be short 5 to 15 minute live streamed questions, Q&A style. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one question from this huge queue. I'm going to answer it, or take my best attempt at answering it. And then I want you to ask clarifying questions about that question. Like, well, wait, what do you mean when you said this? Or what do you mean when you said that? That way we can have a nice dialogue and exchange about each specific question, okay? You're welcome to fire off new questions, but I likely won't get to it on the show. I will probably get to it later. And yeah, so that's a little bit of the structure here. And ideally, you can just watch this from your phone. Again, 5 to 10 minutes. This will turn into a podcast episode, and this will go on YouTube, and a little snippet of it maybe go on Instagram. So let's begin with our first question. All right. So Martina, I'd love to be able to say where Martina's from. Martina, where are you from? But I don't know where Martina's from. So Martina asks, I've been listening to your podcast for a few weeks, and it's changed my life. I'm the female version of you, terrified of commitment and petrified of rejection, and your podcast has helped me see deeper in myself and has helped me take responsibility for myself. Hey, I'm not afraid of commitment. Just kidding. I was also terrified of commitment, and there were deeper layers going on, which we can talk about some other time. I met a man that has made me feel so uncomfortable and outside myself. Outside myself, okay. Like maybe you pop out of yourself, like dissociate or come out of your skin or something. He sees this beauty in myself that I never recognized and have fallen in love with it. It's cool, right? That a person, another human being can reflect back and fall in love with something so special about us that we don't even see. We're blind to. So very cool. You're having that experience. And then she says, it's awkward and uncomfortable, but yet rejuvenated, which is odd. He is that guy for me. Yet I find myself battling unresolved issues from my past of game playing and drama-fueled problematic tendencies. Exactly. How do I move past this and accept this amazing love that has been given to me? How do I take down this wall of protection? Sorry, let's read that again. How do I move past this and accept this amazing love that has been given to me? Okay, that's one question. How do I take down this wall of protection that I've created? It's another question. I want to let him in, but my protection instinct has kicked in full effect, and I'm worried that I will drive him away. Your guidance is much appreciated. All right, this is our first question. This is a good one. Thanks, Martina. Yeah, I can relate, right? We all can relate to feeling maybe scared in a relationship. But initially, when I was hitting my fear wall, I didn't know it was fear. I would just deny that and be like, it's her. She's a problem. But when I went to therapy and got more honest with myself and started learning about myself, I was like, oh shit, I'm really scared. So number one, I love that you're owning your fear. It's a big deal. Own that you're scared. Own that you're scared. Really big deal. So Martina, you're wanting to move past your fear. And there's no simple solution here. It's all about your past though. So quick context, when you were growing up, you had parents with limitations. And for whatever reason, they didn't like parts of you. Let's say you were crying and they didn't like that. Hey, I'll give you something to cry about, or don't cry. Or you felt really sensitive and that triggered your mom or dad because they didn't like their sensitivity. And so they just tried to shut you down. Basically, you got the message, like the rest of us, in some form, great or small, that some parts of you were not acceptable. So you go into hiding and you contract and you start to contort who you are just to get the big people to like you and not reject you. It's very smart. Kids adapt incredibly well into any family environment like this. So you become an adult and you find yourself a partner and you project the same fears that, oh shit, I'm going to be rejected here. I'm going to be hurt here. I'm going to be blasted. And you project all that past baggage onto your current partner. And you make up a story about them that they're going to treat you just like your parents did. And the irony here, of course, is that it kind of happens that way. Your partner does start to mimic behaviors of your parents. They can't stand your sensitivity. Well, one of your parents couldn't stand your sensitivity. And now you're feeling like, oh shit. So this is just kind of the deal in long-term partnership. And so it makes sense you protect yourself, right? So this is maybe not your example, but we all go into some kind of self-preservation, self-protection mode in a partnership, especially when it gets hard and it gets edgy and it gets like the person really wants to be with us. It's like, I had this with my partner, my wife. And initially I had to work through like 3 years of fear, basically, because I was just jammed up and terrified. And I couldn't even look her in the eye when she told me like she loved me. I felt like I was going to have a nervous breakdown. But I was just trying to stay in my body and stay present. So that's what I'm going to recommend for you is name this with your partner and say, hey, I'm noticing, I want to call myself out here. I'm noticing I feel really scared around our relationship and the intimacy that we're creating here, because I'm really into you. But my habit, I'm noticing, is to create drama and sabotage our connection, create a fight so that maybe you'll go away because this is too good to be true. So call yourself out on the pattern and say, here I am, terrified, and then I'm going to maybe undermine this whole thing by making you wrong, making myself wrong, or doing something stupid here that's going to drive you away. That's just the game I'm unconsciously playing here. So as much as you can, name that which you just told me, right? That you just told us. And that alone is intimacy. That's an intimate statement, to call yourself out on a pattern like that, right? It's just saying, hey, I'm scared and I have a limitation here. That puts you in your vulnerability, in your heart and your body, and you move towards someone. So it's a really beautiful thing when we can just be that honest. Because some people will expect themselves to be somewhere they're not, and then you're dealing with another layer. So try not to add more layers here. How do I take down the wall of protection? That's the first step. And then you go to work on your fears. You get really clear. What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of rejection? Am I afraid that I can't bring my insecurities here or I'll get blamed? Am I afraid that if I really show up here in my voice, my partner will go away and they'll just disappear? What am I afraid of? Zero in on the exact fear and commit to facing your fears. And one of the fear is usually a sign that we have been hurt in something. We're projecting some past experience onto the future and saying, I'm afraid that's going to happen again. So that's where we have to go back and deal with the past. People say, oh, you don't need to, therapy or whatever. You got to go back, dig up your past. Well, no shit. You have to face whatever's blocking you to move forward. If you don't want to face it, you're not going to move forward. All right. So write down your exact fears. And then again, another intimate moment is you tell this guy about your fears. Hey, I'm really scared that you're going to reject me. I'm really scared I'm going to sabotage this relationship. And you name it, so it's really out on the table. For the rest of your life, you're going to have fears in intimacy, whether it's around sex, money, connection, whatever it is. It just doesn't stop in my experience. We clear a fear, we get through it, can breathe. And then a year later, a new fear pops up, or a week later. So don't have the fantasy also that you're going to be fear-free, intimate, badass woman. It's not going to happen. You will come up against another layer as long as you're growing. Okay, stuck people that sit on their ass and don't do anything about their relationships, they don't have to face their fear. They just check out and they stay in a horizontal, flat relationship. And anybody can do that. You just compartmentalize your pain. You look the other way when shit gets hard, and you stomach it and swallow it. You have another glass of wine, you take some opiates, you get on Facebook, and you put in a movie. And, you just don't have to deal. I don't think that's you, though, Martina. Okay? All right, that's all I'm going to say there. Of course, there's more to do here with you, but I just want you to start with those, straightforward little steps and see how that goes and report back to us and let us know. Okay, we're going to pause here because I don't want to go on and on. I love this, but I want to keep this show, the Smart Couple Show, every Wednesday at 10, guys, short and to the point. One question. I'll take a few other questions in the feed usually, and we'll move on. And then this will turn into a short podcast episode, okay? So really appreciate you guys trying this out with me. We're going to do every Wednesday in 2017. Gulp. I kind of want to run away already. Because I feel scared. So, but I'm going to show up for that because that's what I do. I make a commitment and I'm going, okay, I'm in, let's do it. And so I'm going to have to face some of my own shit along the way. And you're helping me. Let's do it. So talk next Wednesday. Ideally, this will turn into a podcast. Thanks, Martina, for your question. Thanks, everyone else, for your participation. And I'm pumped. We're going to rock it out.